let's see if we can get fast results in a real-time tutorial. The thing that we will be creating is a basketball that is a character as well. Yes, voxel sculpting will be our preferred method. So from scratch, let's click on any of these spheres, but I'll click the middle one. Good. I am now in voxel mode, and I'll be creating the basketball. So in order to view it from the front, I'll press number 2 on the numpad. And I'm in orthographic mode, as you can see down here. So let's get to creating the basketball. I'll switch on this gizmo that shows me the axis. And I will be starting the splitting of the basketball, the sphere into a basketball. Okay, so let's press space to get all these nice tools, and I'll choose split. But split tool can be found on this very long side menu as well. And when it's selected, you'll see it grayed out. Okay, the split tool does what it says it will do. It will split this into 2 geometries. Mind you, this won't be a precise basketball, but we can do that if we want to. I just don't want to, because we're making a character rather than an asset. And we can make assets later on. So the split tool is selected. I'll press E to get this panel, the E panel, up and running. I'll select the rectangle lasso tool, and I'll do my first split. I'm just eyeballing this, by the way. Okay, good enough for what we want. Now we have 2 volumes immediately, pretty much the same. Don't worry about your sculpt tree getting messed up for some reason. And by messed up, I mean, why is one volume under the other one? Well, it's because whenever you do a split operation, 3DCoat parents the newly created volume under the original one. Okay, that's how it works. Now, we have one of these selected with H, doesn't matter. And it only does not matter which one we have selected because we have through all volumes checked. Okay, so if we don't have this checked, then if I do a split, then only one of these volumes will be cut into half. See, we already, and again, have a little bit of a weird looking sculpt tree, but that's just parenting in 3DCoat's outliner. Okay, let's create the rest of the basketball, and we'll deal with this later on if it bugs us. I'm going to press symmetry on the x-axis and select, let's say this, and we will be using the vertex lasso. Okay, I would call it polygonal lasso, but never mind. I'm going to back up for this a little bit, and I'll show you a nice trick where you can really be swift with this tool, or at least with this operation that we need. So I'm pressing Shift to snap, angle snap my vertex lasso, apparently, and I am eyeballing another 45-degree angle over here, and I'm just going to click again, and then I'm going to let go everything, even the mouse. We're still in this vertex lasso mode, and we can press space and drag this whole shape up here. Now let's make that corner of the shape line up with the origin of the whole scene. Okay, we want this shape, we have this shape where we want it. Now I've let go of everything, and this is like free wiggling over here. I'm going to press R, and only by pressing R I'm going to drag, see what I'm doing here, drag the mouse down, and we are getting a nice bevel on this shape, which will draw our basketball pattern. I've let go of R, and now all I need to do, I'm wiggling the mouse but nothing's happening, is double click. Good. Our basketball is finished. I hope that was slow enough, but the result was was quick. Okay, so we've got a bunch of hierarchies over here. Let me show you. It says that we have two main objects. I don't know why I chose those specifically, but then we've got another one, which is parented to this one, and this one is parented to this one, for reasons unknown. We can just have all of them in a single flat hierarchy. So let's do that. I'm going to click on the top one, shift click on the bottom one, right click, and change parent, and go to root, because that is the mother of all volumes. Good. We have our 8 panels. I know that on the other side it should flow like a tennis ball pattern, but we are not concerned with it, because again, we are not creating a precise photoreal basketball. Now these are still selected, and I'd like to smooth all of these. So to do that, because we don't really like this jaggedness over here, I'm going to adjust the lights as well to be more clear, and let's press space and choose this smooth all icon on the bottom. Already this looks better. Now the thing is, I have a hotkey for smooth all, so let me press Alt D again, and that is my hotkey, by the way. And yes, this is already looking neat. Let's create a brand new layer. I'm going to click on a volume and click on a plus sign to create a new layer. Let's press space to bring up this menu, and primitives is what I'd like to choose. So I'll click on it. I want to get out of symmetry mode, so I'm going to press S and disable symmetry. Sometimes that's annoying, and you should be aware of it being on or off. See, that's the thing about 3DCoat. Sometimes when things get left on or left off, funny things can happen, as in other software as well. So I just positioned this sphere to draw our seams in a way that we will appreciate soon. Okay, so let's get out of this tool. I'm going to press space and choose the move tool, just for the sake of getting out of that primitive creation tool. Let's do some basic coloring for this seam. I'm going to click on the shader icon and click on that color swatch and dial this back down. Press OK. Good. And in front view, let's just do a little bit of renaming. If you double click on the volume's name, then we can rename it seams. The rest are panels, but I'm not going to start renaming these. Okay, so if I press Alt D with all of them selected, we can see that by these being more smooth, the seams got thicker, which is not bad. I'm going to undo this because I don't want to lose fidelity on, for example, these edges. I want to keep some. So I'm going to, unfortunately, I can't up-res all of these at once. So I'm just going to click through these one by one and up-res these. It's not a big deal. And there you go. Okay, the last one. This already looks pretty decent. I'll press W to evaluate the density of my grid, voxel grid. Okay, I think we are close to drawing our character. So let's do something as a smooth operation again. Okay, just slightly made the seams thicker. And then I will, so I'll go to the sculpt tree, select the top one, select the bottom one, and everything is selected. Go into side view. Okay, we don't want symmetry. And then press space, because we would like to rotate this. I would like to rotate it, so press space, go into the transform, and the gizmo is in the incorrect place, so I'm going to press to center mass, which is not working, by the way. And that's okay. Well, we can position it in a separate move only gizmo. Here's a pro tip, and then press X to zero out the gizmo's position. This is what should have happened when I pressed to center mass. Then this button takes the gizmo to the center of the selected mass. I'm going to uncheck move only gizmo and rotate this. Actually, Control Z, rotate this, pressing Control on a 90 degrees angle. Okay, this is what I wanted. Go back to front view. And let's start drawing the face. Okay, I'm going to use Vox Hide for this. So let's select one of the panels and press space, choose Vox Hide, and let's see. Okay, so I'm going to, I don't want symmetry to be on, so I'm going to uncheck that. And I'd like to have little round eyes for my characters, for my character. So I've got this panel or this panel checked. Okay, this is still having symmetry. Okay, so we switch that off. So either one of these will work. I'm pressing H to select one or the other. And then pressing space and going into Vox Hide, I was already there. Pressing the E panel and choosing the circle. I would like to punch holes into my little character. Now, let's do that. Positioning this. Good. And go on to this one, and I'm going to position, make this. For some reason, I'd like this to overlap that seam. So I'm going to position it as such. Good. Now, you may have guessed, or you may haven't, but these, oh, they didn't punch through. Sorry, I didn't say anything. Ignore my previous blabbering. Okay, and for the mouth, I would like to create one that goes through both of them. So it doesn't matter which one is selected, I'll just select this one. And let's make only these two visible. So you can press Shift and H. You can see that two volumes are selected. And you can press Alt and click on either one of these icons, and it will isolate these. Good. Now, through volumes should be checked for the next operation, which will be a Vox Hide operation using the stroke lasso. Okay. I like to have this on 100% because it makes such a nice, smooth piece of geometry. So I'm using my mouse, by the way, for this. Okay, and let's let this go. Okay, there's a happy fellow. Nice. Good, good, good. Let's go into side view and let's try getting back some of that. Excuse me. Some of that. I want to draw teeth back. So let's try getting some of that geometry back. And to do that, I will be doing the following. In this case, I want to, okay, I'm just going to select one of these, the Vox height is selected, and I'm still in this lasso mode, and maybe through volumes is checked, through all volumes, sorry. It's irrelevant now because we are only going to, okay, I forgot to press Control, by the way. Okay, I'm deliberately pressing space and letting it go because that, for some reason, smooths the shape. Kind of a bug, but I'm using it as a feature. Okay, on this side as well, I pressed Control, by the way. See, if I press space, let go, then this shape gets smoothed. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Okay, and then press Control. Maybe position it a little bit higher. We'll rotate it. Press Control, let it go. Okay, I think I kind of like this. Let's reveal all of the geometry again. Okay, I think I'll take this. Now, we do have some jaggedness on this, little tooth profile, and even on the eyes. So to make that go away, we can do one of two things. Like, let's select this or this, and if I smooth it with using Alt D, maybe that does it for me. But I am going to go and increase resolution. And in this case, okay, sorry, one last thing. Let's make these eyes droopy. Okay, so let's select one with H, shift select the other with H again, shift H, sorry, and then press Alt, get back here, and so we want to make these droopy. So the Vox height is selected, and okay, the reason this is looking weird, even though I pressed the rectangle, and this is not a rectangle, this is a capsule. I'm just going to put it here, and it will do nothing. Press E and observe this edge radius value. It's on a large number, 123 is large, because what that does, let me demonstrate it. If I press 0, then we get our good old rectangle shape. But if we press R and keep it pressed, and then move our mouse up and down, then you can see that these edges get beveled. It's a really funny way of controlling this shape, because you got to get used to this. I'm moving this up and down, and it also works sideways. So you got to get used to this tool because it has its little wonkiness. But if I let go of R, then it's pretty interesting how this works. So just play with this value. I'm just going to zero it out, or press R again, and then just push my mouse, yes, until corners are super sharp. Okay, so let's press E and see the edge radius indeed became 0 again. Now, I just want to make these eyes droopy. And we should press Control. Okay, so here is my issue. This, I wanted to have more fidelity. So we lost a nice edge over here. So let's undo everything. No, I'm just kidding. Let's undo everything. You guys are gonna love this. Whoever's watching. How many undos can we do? Thank God I spoke a ton. Okay, I think it was 27 undos or whatever. So what we need to do to get back all of that appeal is actually increase the resolution on these two panels, because this isn't enough. So I've got this selected, press on it, got this selected, press on this grid icon. This is res up. And while I'm at it, I'll just go and up-res all of these. panel geos. Press H. This is really unnecessary for our purposes, but it's better to be uniform on a uniform thickness. And the seams, so these do not matter in this instant. So the seam geo doesn't count in this instant. So don't worry about that. Just worry about these. Okay, it's going to be really easy to redo this. So it was a good thing that we encountered that problem. So Vox hide, I have this selected. I'm going to uncheck through all volumes because I only want it here. Go into E, press this. It's going to be really, really fast. And there, see how nicer that shape is? Okay, I want this to get close to that seam. Okay, good. And then now we can check through all volumes. Press H, Shift H to select those two, press Alt, and then we can go back to our nice lasso tool, do a slow stroke. We're in no rush. Okay, and then we can say, good, this is what we want. Let's get back the teeth. So there you go. I'm gonna, yes, that's what I want. Make it a little bit more good. Okay, I think I want to make it a bit more sharper. Good. Okay. And press Control, let go. Good. And then we can finally get what we wanted originally. Droopy eyes, press Control. Make it real droopy. Okay. Well, we still have some, voxel density issues. I wonder why this isn't sharper. Well, anyways, we will not be making this more complicated than it needs to be. So let's just be done with it. Okay, droopy eyes, not that droopy, droopy enough. Okay, press Alt to get back all our stuff. Good, good, good. And all we need now is a render. Okay, since I'm using a matte cap on this character, this won't work well in renders. So a matte cap is, if you go into this bucket, which lists all of the shaders, a matte cap is any material that has matte cap in its name, and there are only two. The reason these exist is to have a nice visual on the sculpted geo. So we need to actually assign a PBR material to this. So let's go back to this bucket, and I have a very basic PBR material over here, which I will click on, and you can immediately see that this looks way better. So let's assign these to this material to the panels. But in fact, let's go back and edit the shader settings for this material. So right click on it and edit permanent shader settings. Okay, what I will be doing is adding a nice basketball leather pattern to this, which I will be browsing for on my hard drive. Okay, I browsed for it, and I chose it to be a normal map texture, so it's a bump texture, and I created this texture in 3DCoat. It's a seamless texture, by the way. Okay, so the scale on this needs to be, well, big enough. The bumpiness needs to be big enough as well. For some reason, it is bugging out. Oh, okay, the texture scale is way too small. Sorry about that. This will work better. Let's go back to front view. Huh? Numpad 2 doesn't work in this instance. Gloss looks too aggressive, but I'm pretty sure that the bumpiness is cranked up to 8. That's too much, way too much. So we should bring that back to something around 1. Let's just have it 1. Okay, maybe we can have it 2. But the texture scale then should be a bit more cartoonish. What do you guys think? Okay, the color, let's have a more, basketball-y color. And let's have some cavity as well. Ooh, that looks nice. But I'm not gonna, I want it to be orangey. The intensity, we don't want the cavity to be at all intense, so we're gonna tell that to 0. The bulge intensity is pretty big, but maybe that will serve us well. Let's make it more orangey. We just want some accents on the sides. Make this more saturated reddish. Okay. So this is our new texture. I think I'm gonna bring back the bumpiness down to 1.4, maybe 1 even. Yeah, that's good enough. We don't need anything more than that. Again, let's do a little bit of adjustments on this. Okay, so we have created our new permanent shader, which is a basketball shader from now on. And what we need to do is be careful a little bit. So these two volumes, this and this, still have hidden parts. To be a little bit careful, because we might upres it in a minute, and then the hidden parts become visible and they ruin our design. So I will select this and this, or just select one at a time, go to geometry and delete hidden parts. Select other one, geometry, and delete hidden. Okay, so if we upres this, then yes, we are going to upres it. So I'm going to come here and yes, make it more dense. Come here, more dense. You did see the texture scale become more dense, so we will fix that because we want to make it cartoonish. Let's go and do this on every single panel we have. Okay, almost done. And yep. And why did we do this? Well, we're going to do some additional smoothing. So besides the seams, I am going to click and shift click to do some smoothing. So Alt D is my hotkey for this, which I did press. And again, and good. This should be good enough for us. Now, the shader settings need to be, the permanent shader settings, need to be adjusted. So what if I press H, go here and reassign this? It'll be just as small. So I want to come here, right click, edit permanent shader settings, and just make the texture scale a bit more cartoonish. Good. And there you go. Let's hide the seams. And this is only needed because if we go back to the shader tab, and right click on this, we can apply this shader to all visible shaders, which will immediately give it a nice vibe. Okay, let's smooth the seams to make a little bit more of a, I'm going to make the seams thicker in essence. So I'm going to press Alt D. And instead of making them smoother, not much happened. So I'd rather, transform to center mass, press Q to initialize the, oh, actually, I'm doing something wrong here. If I make it smaller, then the seams will get thinner, and that's not what I want, So I'm going to leave it. This is going to be as good as it gets. You can play around with this as long as forever. Good. So what else needs to be done? Well, let's pose our character. I'm going to create a new layer and call it main. And then I'm going to select the seams, select everything else with Shift. I'm going to go anywhere in the viewport, right-click, change parent, main. Good. Now this is our empty group. Doesn't have any geometry. We're only using this for to organize stuff. So let's give it a little bit of a tilt. Go to side view. Give it a tilt on this axis as well. Go back to front view. And maybe let's give it a tilt on this axis. Okay. I actually think we should have the face facing down. Yep, this is a better pose for this. Okay, we want to favor front view. Okay, there it is, our fun little pumpkin character. Maybe bring it a little bit up, pressing 2. Okay. And we are now done. Whoops. And let's go to the render tab to give it a render. I'll just get out of transform, use the move tool. The render tab, I have lights already set up, so I won't be going through how to set up lights. That's maybe for another tutorial in another scenario. And this should render. Now, since the red light is pretty dominant, so I'm going to dial it back to 0.4. Okay. And that is the end of this tutorial. I hope you could take away something from this. 3DCoat is fun. It has millions of tricks up its sleeve. Use it, enjoy it. Cheers.